was born August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, United States. He was the eighth of 10 children in the Jackson family. The parents and 10 children lived in this two-bedroom house. The 5 boys slept in one triple bunk bed, and the girls slept in the living room. Michael joined the Jackson Brothers, a band created by his father. Michael and Jermaine shared lead vocals. Group's name changed to the Jackson 5. Jackson's 5 toured the Midwest, played at many of black clubs known as the Chitlin Circuit as the opening acts. While touring the East Coast, they won a weekly amateur night concert at the Apollo Theater. Steeltown Records released Jackson 5's first single Big Boy. Later the Jackson 5 joined Motown Records. Jackson and his family moved to Los Angeles in 1968 with Motown Records. They performed a cover of It's Your Thing in the Miss Black America pageant for their first television appearance. I Want You Back made it to number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 for 4 weeks. 3 other singles topped the charts. The Jackson family moved to Hayvenhurst, a 2-acre estate in Encino, California. Michael Jackson is now developing into a teen idol. Michael released 2 solo albums, Got to Be There and Ben. Michael released another solo album called Music and Me. Michael released another solo album and did a world tour with Jackson 5. Jackson 5 continues the world tour. They did over 160 concerts in this 3-year tour. Michael releases Forever Michael, and continues the world tour with Jackson 5. The Jackson 5 left Motown, and signed with Epic Records with the revised name, The Jacksons. Michael, the Jacksons' main songwriter, wrote songs from 1976 to 1984. Jackson moves to New York City to star as the Scarecrow in the box office failure The Wiz. He enjoyed the Studio 54 nightclub, where he enjoyed hip-hop, which inspired beatboxing. Michael broke his nose while dancing. The nasal reconstruction led to breathing difficulties afterwards. Jackson won 3 American Music Awards for his solo work. He secured the highest royalty rate in the music industry, 37% of wholesale album profit. He got more awards for a second consecutive year. Jackson's 6th album was the best-selling album worldwide at around 70 million sold. While filming of a Pepsi commercial, fireworks caught Michael's hair on fire. Weird Al creates a parody, Eat It, from Jackson's song, Beat It. Michael buys ATV Music for $47.5 million, to gain copyrights to 40,000 songs. Jackson worked with 2 other people on the 17-minute $30 million 3D film Captain EO. Bad was the first album in 5 years. It was also the first to produce 5 #1 singles. He purchased 2,700 acres of land near Santa Ynez, California for $17 million. Also created the Neverland Ranch there, with rides, theater and zoo. Another spoof by Weird Al, Fat, was created from Jackson's song called Bad. Armed police seized him, mistaking him for a robber in disguise with a boy at Zales jewelry. Michael was looking at rings with a wig, fake teeth and a mustache to avoid being mobbed. Sega releases a game called Moonwalker where you find children and rescue them. Michael released Dangerous, his 8th studio album. Jackson founded the Heal the World Foundation in 1992. The charity brought underprivileged children to Jackson's ranch to use the theme park rides. First child sexual abuse accusations. Jackson also proposed to Lisa Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley. Jackson marries Lisa Presley, and settled with the Chandlers for $25 million. Michael had to change some lyrics to They Don't Care About Us because it was reported to be anti-Semitic. Jackson won a Grammy for Best Music Video, short form, for Scream. Jackson marries nurse Debbie Rowe. She gives birth to a son, Prince Michael. Michael and Debbie bears a girl, Paris Michael Katherine. Jackson and Rowe split. Debbie got $8 million, and a house. Michael gets full custody. Guinness World Records has a record for Jackson donating the most to charities by a pop star, with hundreds of millions of dollars estimated. Jackson releases Invincible. This was his last album of original material in his lifetime. A surrogate mother gave birth to his 3rd child, Blanket, Prince Michael Jackson II. Authorities charged Jackson with 7 counts of child molestation and 2 counts of intoxicating a minor with alcoholic drinks. Debbie Rowe returned to court to reclaim custody after the second child abuse allegations against Jackson. Jackson was acquitted on all counts on the 2003 trial. FBI found no evidence on the 1993 allegations or this trial. He owed Neverland employees $306,000 in wages. Had to sell half his ATV catalog of songs to pay them in interest. Jackson and Sony bought another music publisher company, giving Michael song rights of Eminem and Beck, among others. Michael continued to work on his next album, which he never had a chance to complete. Jackson negotiated with a real estate investment firm to avoid foreclosure on the Neverland Ranch. Being $500 million in debt, Jackson announced a series of comeback tours. Over 1 million tickets sold in 2 hours. Concerts were to run from July 2009 to March 2010. He was already rehearsing. June 25, 2009, less than 3 weeks before the concerts, Jackson died from cardiac arrest. This was to help him sleep. Conrad Murray, his personal physician, gave Jackson a propofol and benzodiazepine overdose. In August, the coroner ruled the death was a homicide. The year after his death, he sold more albums than any other artist in 2009. Also became the first artist to sell 1 million downloads in a week. Murray was charged with involuntary manslaughter. The Jacksons' estate thrived greatly, fueled by This Is It documentary, record deals, and wise management, ensuring stability. Conrad Murray was sentenced to 4 years in prison. He had a net worth of negative $500 million at the time of his death. Despite his debt, his estate has earned nearly $2 billion since then. Jackson sold over 750 million albums during his career. He remains one of the wealthiest music icons in history. His estate's financial success continues to grow posthumously.